about protecting jobs and supporting working families.
Let's go to another question on this. I note someone's got their hand up. We'll come to you in a minute. We have another question on this subject. It's from Angela Samuels.
Mr Rudd, I'd like to know how you expect us to trust you, our generation, the ones that got behind you in the Kevin 07, and now you expect us to trust you on everything you're saying. And you broke promises like the laptops ones and the health ones and all the ones that are important to our generation.
Well, let's go to the two that you've raised. Laptops, which is computers in schools, we said we would have a computer for every young person at secondary school from year 9 and above by, I seem to recall, 2013 or thereabouts. We are on track to doing that. We have about 260,000 computers out there in schools now. Well, you're shaking your head. Can I just say, that is a fact. And if you ring up principals from around the country, it's happening. But our commitment was not to have it done by this year. It was to be done over a period of time, and that has still a couple of years to elapse. On the second point that you raised about health, as I said today in the Parliament here, what's the record we inherited? Well, our predecessors took $1 billion out of the public hospital system. In our 2 years in office, and our predecessors were there for 12, we've increased investment in hospitals by 50%. That is a huge increase. We've increased the number of GP places for training. We've increased also the number of nurses for training. On the two examples you raised, that's not right. And on the future on health and hospitals, as I have said before, if the states and territories do not accept the government's reform plan for the future of health and hospitals, then we will go to the people and seek a mandate to take over overall responsibility for the system. That's what we said we'd do. That's what we intend to do. And frankly, the record on both those things is okay. But I go back to the answer to the person who began the question before. I'm not going to stand here before you and claim that we're purer than driven snow and did not have to change things. Bear in mind, we have had the worst global economic crisis since the Great Depression.
OK, Angela, we've got two people with their hand up. One is the question. We'll take her first and then we'll come to you.
I just wanted to know, though, you said about the health system, you said you're going to take it over. What happened to you taking it over in July last year? Now you're saying you're going to take it over in the future. When is that going to be? How can we trust you if you keep giving us different dates?
What we said was that we would put a reform plan to the states and territories. And what we said, if the states and territories didn't agree to that, we would then go to the people and get a mandate to take it over. We're not at the next election yet. That's due by the end of this year. That's what we said to do. The place where we went last year was to commission an independent commission of inquiry headed by a medical expert, Dr. Christine Bennett, across, guess how many hospitals in this country? 750 public hospitals in Australia. If you're going to do health reform, you've got to get it right. You've got to get it absolutely right. So many people depend on it on a daily basis. That's what we intend to do. That's what we're adhering to. But I go back to what we've done in 2 years alone. My predecessor ripped $1 billion out of the public hospital system. We've increased our funding to the public hospital system by 50% in just 2 years. Can I just say, that's not a bad foundation, but there's a hang of a lot more to do.
All right, we've got another questioner down the front. Had his hand up.
Didn't you say when you were going to reform the health system that the buck would stop with you, yet you've made two references to the previous government's decisions, and I know you didn't reference the previous government's surplus they left you in terms of the economic crisis, but you said the buck